I'm here joining you this evening on 6 p.m. Prime for a very narrow lane in Chhatarpur. And it is this house in green that you see next to me where the most horrifying murder that we've witnessed this year, or in the recent past arguably, has occurred. On the first floor, in this rather nondescript house, is where Shraddha was murdered. You can see the balcony area, there's a staircase there, and you see that particular window also right next to it. That is the washroom of Aftab and Shraddha's house. Purportedly, going by the information from the police, it was in that washroom, in this window, where Shraddha's body was kept. Now, obviously, you can see that this is a very, very congested area. There are neighbors all around. And the first thought that occurred to me when I came here and I saw how this area is bustling with activity, people walking all the time, there are vehicles coming through, is how did nobody realize that something like this happened when it took place on May 18th? But let me take you inside the house as well, and let me show you what exactly we can see from now, and then help perhaps get you the exact sequence of events what played out. This is the area, what the house looks like. Aftab and Shraddha lived on the first floor. So we'll go right up and I'll show you. It's a very narrow area, narrow entrance. So we're going to make our way one by one up. Right here you see this particular balcony area, and right above a few more steps, and this house right here, this is Aftab and Shraddha's residence. You can see right now that it is locked. There's no entry obviously because this place is still under investigation. Till yesterday when we were showing you some of the footage, and I'm not sure if you remember, but we showed you footage of a clothes stand, etc. That was through this window. The curtains now have been drawn. The windows have been closed. So there's no access inside. But you can see all of the junk here. You remember we reported to you here on India Today that a vacuum cleaner was found. It's been taken in by the Delhi police. You can see the box of the vacuum cleaner here. It is suspected that this vacuum cleaner was bought just for the purpose of clearing up the area by Aftab after he had murdered Shraddha. You see that box, you see a lot of leftovers, you see boxes of food, etc. But the area essentially has been closed off completely for the public. And I can tell you that since I've been here for the last 1 hour, there are people who are coming here, taking selfies at this door, referring to this as the house of horror, as the murder house. Now catch this. While this is one house, and this is where Shraddha and Aftab lived 6 months ago, this is where that ghastly murder took place. There are stairs that go right up, because in the next floor and the next, there were people who lived here, and yet nobody had an inkling that something like this had actually happened, that this kind of a murder had happened in May. Now, what we know is that between 9 to 10 p.m., within these doors, behind these doors, Aftab had murdered Shraddha. She was strangled to death in their bedroom. So obviously there will be questions right now as to how nobody heard it, because there are people who live upstairs, there are people who live downstairs as well. Well, the neighbors at this point we've spoken to, they're not willing to come on camera, but when I spoke to them, they did say that they'd never seen Shraddha. Only 1 or 2 of them had seen her once, so they didn't really get inquisitive in any way. Right next to the wall where I'm standing, next to this is where the bathroom, the washroom is, because I showed you from downstairs that the window is right here. So right next to this area is the washroom, and that's where reportedly Aftab kept Shraddha's body. But like I said, this is an extremely congested area, so obviously there are questions as to how nobody heard a thing, nobody knew a thing about what was happening behind these doors. And neighbors right now are very concerned. They're saying that with all the activity that's happening, we had no clue that right next to us, this kind of a murder had taken place. Or for that matter, this monster Aftab was living here for 6 months peacefully without any problem. As we continue getting you all the updates that are coming in right now, and I get you all of these images trying to piece together the sequence of events, let's run you through all the top developments that have come in through the day on this case. India Today has accessed Shraddha's chat with her former colleague of November 24, 2020, in which she tells her colleague that her body was hurting from all the beating, hinting at the abuse by Aftab. She further says that she can't get up from bed and has low blood pressure. An image from 2020 has also emerged where Shraddha's face is bruised and battered. Cuts can be seen on Shraddha's nose, and her cheeks are bruised. Scratches can also be seen on Shraddha's neck. One of her eyes also very clearly swollen. Aftab had strangled Shraddha earlier as well. In 2020, she was taken to police station by her friends when Aftab had beat her up. Shraddha didn't file, however, a written complaint then. A medical report from 2020 nails Aftab's physical abuse towards Shraddha. In 2020, Shraddha was hospitalized in Vasa in Maharashtra, complaining of severe back pain. From the medical report accessed by India Today, it is suspected that this was a result of an assault by Aftab. Lakshman Nadir, friend of Shraddha, who suspected foul play and had alerted Shraddha's family about her being missing, recorded his statement with the Delhi police in this case. Shraddha, remember, had reached out to Lakshman for help when a dispute had broken out between the couple. This was when they were still residing in Vasai.